Hello and welcome, everybody. Today we're talking about being boring, something that I have an extraordinary amount of experience with personally. And we're also talking about how being boring can lead to greatness. And that does not mean that I'm personally saying that I'm great, but I do have some ideas to share. And they kind of start with me realizing recently that the past 5 years of my life have probably been the most stable, monotonous, and boring, at least superficially, part of my life, my adult life. And during that period, I have worked the same job. I have lived in the same apartment. I have gone for the last 4 years, I've gone for a walk in the same forest basically every day, except for the very rare occasion when I'm out of town. And that almost never happens because I'm boring. And during this time, there have been moments where I have wanted to, or just had this kind of like itching impulse to throw a bomb into my stable, monotonous life and quit my job or just pick up everything and move to a new city and somehow just shake things up. And there's just some voice in me that knows it's like, no, it actually makes sense. I'm aware that during these past 5 years, some pretty extraordinary things have happened. I have written and published 2 books, which has been an amazing experience. And I think that has been made possible through the stability and simplicity of my material life. It's allowed me to kind of just mess around and creatively to really grow a lot and be very productive. I have also, during these past 5 years, reconnected with my family after years of not talking to them and done a lot of healing around that and kind of patiently, awkwardly stepped back into some relationships that I had kind of wounded and damaged by not talking to people for years. That was a very massive undertaking. And yeah, it was just part of this healing that has been possible because my life has been stable enough for me to really tend to some things that I might be able to ignore or check out from otherwise. And I have also, during these past 5 years, like I already mentioned, I think, I've been going for a walk in nature every morning for years now. And what has happened during these walks is they've slowly gotten longer and they've slowly gotten more intensely involved with the land as I get excited about medicinal plants or medicinal mushrooms. And I spent much of my 20s living in the woods in a very intimate way. Like, I didn't have electricity, I didn't have running water. I was really connected to the land and the seasons. And that was a big part of my identity and my spiritual and mental health that I just completely cut myself off from at some point. And over these past several years, I have been really blessed to get the opportunity to day after day reconnect with the land and heal that relationship and fill myself up with something that I had been completely malnourished of. Like I was critically lacking a nutrient. And some people listening to this or watching this might be able to relate, some might not. But for me, my connection to nature is a fundamental part of my identity. If I go long enough without it, it's like I lose my essence. It just starts to go away. And I went without it for so long that I was just withering. And it's kind of the same with my family. Like, I didn't talk to them and I didn't connect with them for so long. And it was actually like really bad for me. And now that I've reconnected to my parents and my family, it's like there's something there that's spiritually connected and spiritually fulfilled that is really significant. And I don't know if I'm articulate enough in this moment to put it into words, but in the same way that my lack of connection to nature was robbing me of something, my lack of connection to family and to my roots and the people I come from and am connected to in that way, that was robbing me of something very fundamental. And creatively, it's the same. Like with writing these 2 books over the past several years, and there will be more to come. That is also some kind of very important spiritual action, just being creative and stepping back into that has been an incredibly rich and beautiful thing. And all of those things have happened during this very simple, stable part of my life. I feel like because I've had the foundation of just a simple, boring life, these magnificent things have been able to happen and been able to move through, being creatively engaged, healing myself, healing relationships, and connecting to my environment and the people in the world around me in a deep way. All of that has been made possible by having a really straightforward material existence that some people would drive some people crazy, but I feel like it's been such a blessing. And it makes me think of this quote that I heard from the filmmaker David Lynch. I'm not very familiar with David Lynch's work, but I did hear this brilliant thing in an interview that he was giving, which he said. The interviewer asked him about his eating habits, because apparently David Lynch had the same thing for lunch and dinner every single day, and it never changed even a little bit. And so the interviewer asked him, is this true? Do you eat the same thing for lunch every day? And David Lynch very matter-of-factly said, yeah, I have the exact same lunch every day. It's a salad with tomatoes and tuna, and then my dinner is the exact same every day. It's broccoli and chicken. It was something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And his rationale for this was that he needed to have this sense of extreme stability in his material life, so that creatively and artistically he could reach out into the weirdest, wildest places. He could go into such fascinating and expanded and weird regions because he was so stable here at the same time. And I can really relate to that, because over these past years, I've been able to creatively really reach into far places and to grow massively and to shed philosophical ideas. And I've been able to emotionally really, really connect with myself and the people around me, family, friends, and spiritually I've been able to really connect to nature. And all of this has been very kind of intense internally. And I feel like it's being made possible because on a certain level, there's a real stability and monotony to my life. I go on that walk every day. I eat the same dinner like many nights a week, and I love it. The walk gets better the more times I go on it because I discover new things. There's an intimacy that grows with repetition. Anyhow, all of this is to say that the stable times, the simple times, the quiet times, they can be an enormous gift, and we can silently, a lot can happen that kind of builds strength and wealth inside of us that we take into the busier seasons. And things can change so fast, like you can meet a person, you can have a kid, like so many things can happen that make life very busy in an instant. And yeah, I guess I'm quite grateful that I've been able to have this period. And maybe you can relate. Maybe you're in a similar season. And if not, I hope you still enjoyed this. If you did, you can let me know a variety of ways. You can comment, you can like this, you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in checking out those books I was talking about, you will find links to them in the show notes or in the description. Both of the books are autobiographical stories about love and loss and finding inner power and relationships and all of that juicy stuff. Again, if you're interested, check them out. There is paperback versions, ebook versions, audiobook versions narrated by me. And yeah, thank you so much for listening or watching today. And till next time, take care.